Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is MTG Ghoul Dude, and today we're going to be going through some of the lists I already have listed on Archidekt. This is Archidekt Beta. If I can, there it is. It's not going to show but so far this is kind of just what I have listed. Quick preface: my local play group is, well, one of them is really like lenient when it comes to like proxies and stuff. So if you see, like, we go through different deck text, how there's multiple mana crypts, the fetch lands, the shocks, the dual lands. Yeah, those are all, I have them all, but the ones that I do have in like multiple decks, like the Zarda, the Timna and Crom specifically, I have all the OG duels. I just like to keep them in a binder, keep them safe, keep them kind of just, keep them from being messed up. But yeah, so far this is all I have. Goes from, because we can't play zombies all the time. Sometimes some people are just like a little too much on zombies. You're playing zombies too much. So I built all kinds of different stuff to kind of keep it kind of evened out. But the first one we're going to go into is my Tormod, the Desecrator deck. Now, this is like, as I said, anything that I have is actually, in this, that I actually have. But we're going to start with the artifacts. I've done my Tormod deck tech before, but I haven't done one recently, and I've made some changes here recently. In the artifact list, we have Altar of the Brood, which is a combo piece that goes with any creature you can get out the graveyard, kind of like, where is it? Gravecrawler. If you can find a way to sack him and bring him back with something like the Phyrexian Altar, you just constantly bring it back, and then you have Tormod out, you just mill them out. Ashnod's Altar goes along with the Nim Deathmantle, which I recently took out the Grave Titan to try and actually lower my curve, which it brought it down like 0.1. But other than that, Bantu's Monument is another one of those little combo pieces where you can consistently just cast Gravecrawler from the graveyard and make them lose life. Nim Deathmantle, as I said, with there it was, Dross Messenger. You find a way to use the Nim Deathmantle on the Ashnod's Altar, you can sack it, it comes back, you sack it again, then you pay for the Nim Deathmantle, which is 4, and you can bring it back attached to it and keep going until they lose. But yeah, O-Stone for your premium, just basic removal. I have thought about cutting it down because I do have Toxic Deluge and Damnation in the main board. Phyrexian Altar, combo piece. X map to find stuff like the Cabal Stronghold, not the Cabal Stronghold, but the Cabal Coffers or the Urborg if I need them. Wishclaw Talisman is just another tutor type effect. Go to our enchantments, Necropotence, because you probably want to draw and run as fast as we could. The two planeswalkers I have in the deck are Liliana Untouched by Death and Professor Onyx. Liliana Untouched by Death is in there for the graveyard recursion ability for the most part. I'll let y'all see. Wonder if there's a way we can. No. But yeah, she's in there for, so you can cast creature cards from the graveyard for cards that can't come back from the graveyard, like where is it at? Carrion Feeder, you can sack it and bring it back. Any of the 1-drops really to sack and bring back to trigger Altar of the Brood, Bantu's Monument, stuff like that. The Professor Onyx is strictly in there for the Chain of Smog combo, to try and get that out as fast as possible. Chain of Smog right there. And the card draw and stuff like that is actually really good too for this deck. My mana ramp, it goes Arcane Signet, Basalt Monolith, Jeweled Lotus, Liquid Metal Torque, because I'm still trying to figure out where I want to keep the the mana ramp in this deck. Lotus Petal, Mana Crypt, Mind Stone, and Soul Ring. And then we go to our instants. Blood Pact for card draw, Cabal Ritual for mana ramp to try and get into the bigger spells a little quicker. Dark Ritual, Darkness is actually, it's a kind of like a pet card for the deck because it took me a while to try and find it. It's recently rose up in price because when I got it, it was like around, I don't know, probably $10-15. Force of Despair for those decks that just like to throw a whole bunch of creatures out on the board, like a Krenko deck. Succumb to Temptation, usually the ones just card draw, try and hurry up on instant speed. Vampiric Tutor for tutoring. Village Rites, which is a sack outlet for Tormod to try and get him going. We can move into our creatures. Ghoul of Thraben. Ghoul of Thraben, I've seen it in like standard and stuff like that, and it does really good. So I figured it would probably be, you know, when it comes to trying to find that extra combo piece, if I can just consistently sack Gravecrawler and just try to find the piece that I need, I can leave it on top and I can find a way to draw it. Carrion Feeder is a good sack outlet. The Cemetery Reaper, I thought about cutting it not too long ago, but it does provide a good, you know, graveyard removal, and it's a buff. Crypt Breaker is just a really good card draw, and if you need a zombie token and you have plenty of cards in hand, it's a good way to do that. Death Baron. I love this comic convention promo. I seen it and I just figured I had to have it. Diagraph Colossus is another one of those Tormod effects. Diagraph Ghoul and Foulmire Knight. Those are some more of the one drops for the deck. Then we have Dross Messenger. Of course, it's a combo zombie. Gravecaller, Lord of the Undead, Lord of the Accursed, Lord of the Undead. Just for, you know, if we're able to, because there are ways to like instant speed be able to cast spells. I was gonna find a way to keep those in there. That way, if I have to swarm, I can swarm instead of just worrying about combo. Maggot Carrier has been an MVP in the last game that I played because I was able to actually find a way to keep myself above everyone else's life total, and then I went for the combo and it just kept going, and I found a way to win that game. Midnight Reaper is another type of card draw. Murderous Rider is removal and a body all in one. Plague Belcher is one of those other combo pieces. It's kind of like the Bantu's Monument. Relentless Dead. Relentless Dead is another one that I found that has multiple uses in a deck. If you can find a way to consistently spam, you make make zombie tokens. You can consistently bring back, where did it go? Dross Messenger. So the way I did it, because it's 3, I was able to sack after I found a way to achieve infinite mana. I can't remember how I did it in that game, but I was able to sack Relentless Dead, get the mana, sack the Dross Messenger, sack the Relentless Dead, pay to bring the Relentless Dead back, cast it, cast the Dross Messenger because it actually brings it back from the graveyard from its second ability, and both of those abilities can be used when Relentless Dead is in the graveyard when it dies. You just have to order them in a certain way. But yeah, I was able to combo off with Relentless Dead and Dross Messenger for that game. Chamberlain Geist is another one of those 1 mana creatures that can make you infinite treasures with the combos. Cedh, the one I actually have in there is a Chinese foil because she was actually the head of the deck whenever I first built the deck a while back. Undead Augur, more card draw. Zombie Master for regeneration in case, you know, something happens like a not damnation, but like a board wipe. You can find a way to keep all your zombies alive. Vengeful Dead is just like the Plague Belcher. It's just another way to try and tax your opponents. Moving on to the sorceries, we have Agadem's Awakening. Because my mana curve is so kind of spread out, my 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop for, 6, and I could get my combo going very easily if they're all in the graveyard. Siege the Queen, I've thought about taking this one out because of the limited use, especially if it's in the early game. Kind of takes away from it. Bitter Ordeal, just another combo piece. If you had a bunch of grave crawlers enter the back graveyard, it hits Gravestorm, and then you could essentially just take all the cards from your opponents. Bubbling Muck is another piece of ramp. Chain of Smog, as I said earlier, that goes with the combo. Damnation, Demonic Tutor, Feed the Swarm for those pesky enchantments or creatures. Final Parting is another one of those double tutors that I like to use. It can throw the Gravecrawler in the graveyard and get you a Phyrexian Altar. Grim Tutor, lose 3 life, get a card. Night's Whisper, draw 2, lose 2. Praetor's Grasp is for the decks that I've run into that end up having, let's say, more proficient combo pieces that I know what to grab. Ransack the Lab, that's one that I've recently looked into that I've seen works really well in my Chainer deck, which is just throwing creatures into the graveyard, and you get to choose one to put into your hand. So say you run into your Phyrexian Altar and a couple other things you don't need, well, you can just keep the Phyrexian Altar and throw those in the graveyard. Read the Bones, scry 2, draw 2, lose 2. Sign in Blood, draw 2, lose 2. Tendrils of Agony is another one of my storm cards for my combos. If you cast Gravecrawler from the graveyard a bunch of times, you can just kill everyone. Torment of Hellfire is one of those big mana combos that I have to find a way to get Tormod out and or Diregraph Colossus where I can sack enough zombies to get a lot of mana. Toxic Deluge is removal. Run into our lands, Ancient Tomb, Bajuga Bog for just your run-of-the-mill graveyard strategies. Cabal Coffers, Crystal Vein. I'm a big advocate for Crystal Vein. I know a lot of people don't usually run it, but sometimes you might need that colorless, and sometimes you might need the double colorless. And it especially comes in handy whenever you're running combo, because you might need the 2 colorless a little bit quicker. Emergent Zone, like I said, if you wanted to play a flash speed, you can sack it, you get flash. Gemstone Caverns, strictly for the early drop. If you have it on turn 0, you can put it out on the battlefield. Phyrexian Tower to help churn and get a little bit more black mana. Reliquary Tower because you don't want to have to discard to the Necropotents because they're gone. I run 21 Snow-Covered Swamps, Temple of the False God, Unholy Grotto, and Urborg. I'm still looking to kind of tune up the mana base a little bit because it is 32 and I do only have 8 mana rocks, just to try and even it out a little bit. And then in my maybe board I actually have Ad Nauseam. I don't think my mana curve is actually low enough to try and take advantage of Ad Nauseam, because even if I get Ad Nauseam turn 2, I mean, it's still not going to be that good of a game for me because I'll have to churn really deep to try and get the combo pieces I would need. And then Altar of Dementia, it's just like another Altar of the Brute effect that I've been looking into. I'm still iffy on what I would take out to put in the Altar of Dementia. But at current, the deck is sitting at a 2.43, which is kind of where I like to keep my more competitive decks. But yeah, I'm sure that building this deck with a little bit more budget would probably be more efficient. But for right now, this is where I like it, and this is where I've kept it. And I've built it over the years. Anything that's foil, I've got in foil, and I found and put in here for the deck. But as it sits right now, the total cost is $1,500, which I don't know if that's true because it likes to set Card Kingdom first. So let's put TCG first, and it's actually $1,300. I mean, it's mostly from things like the the Mana Crypt and Lotus Petal and stuff like that, and the full Jewel Lotus, stuff that really just props the deck up more than anything. But yeah, anyways, if y'all are looking to see any more of these decks, I'm more than willing to go on ahead and do a deck tech on these. I'm always open to it. And that's it for the day. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.